Hey everyone, welcome back to Freeze Frame. That's right. This is the awesome podcast that covers everything that has to do with movie and TV news. That's right. If there is news that breaks this week, you're going to be hearing about it right here in this podcast. So without further ado, I am joined by my awesome friend, amazing critic and analyst of movies and TV. Absolutely love the guy. His name is Ryder, and he's fantastic. I'm sure you guys have gotten to know him these last 7 weeks. And now we're on week 8, and we're about to get started with the greatest show on earth, Freeze Frame. That's right, guys. If you're listening on audio platforms, we want to say thank you. We want to just say, keep it up. Keep downloading the episodes because we love making them, and we're just glad that you guys are enjoying them. And we're actually getting a lot of people listening all over the world, which is fun. Our analytics are kind of popping off, so it's very, awesome. Very exciting to bring that.
We appreciate it.
Anyways, aside from that, Ryder, what have you been watching?
Lately, I've been watching, continuing through Fargo. I'm getting through that one slowly by slowly. You know, whenever I have time, I watch an episode, if even that. And then that's pretty much about it. I've been watching a lot of films for school. You know, like I just recently saw the movie Crash. And then I saw a movie called What's Cooking. A lot of, earlier...
I haven't heard of What's Cooking, but I've heard of Crash.
It's like early 2000s movies. A lot of like historical relevance kind of in the film school, you know. So that's really about it. What about yourself, man?
Been watching a lot of Futurama and have actually been keeping up with Young Rock.
Really?
Episode 3.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm on episode 3 of Young Rock. And it still hits. It's just not I say the pilot was a lot stronger than I think the whole show will be.
Okay.
But I definitely think it's interesting to watch that show. Like there's some good scenes in there for sure, but for the most part I'm like, is this just like a propaganda tour? Maybe The Rock will run for president one day.
Maybe.
Is this just like predictive programming where they're just like putting the idea here now at 2021 and then he's gonna decide to do
5
it
years
down
later.
the road.
And Randall Park is in it too, right? Is he?
Yeah, he's in
prominent?
it. Nice. He's in every episode.
Oh,
so
nice.
It's great.
Cool. That's cool.
It's really fun.
Awesome.
And then just Shark Tank. I've been keeping up with Shark Tank, which is actually really, really good. Like this last season, I don't know what it was, but they're on their 12th season, and it's just been like, I'm like, okay, I like this because I think they said that they've made already like all of their deals to date is like over $630 million.
Dang.
Something like that.
Wouldn't doubt it. That's crazy. It's a good show. Dude, it's interesting for sure. I like watching.
I'd be interested to see when they cross $1 billion. I wonder if those numbers were right, because I'm sure. I wonder if that was money invested on their end, or if that was just like profit from companies they've invested in. I'm not too sure, but that's still crazy. In 12 years, like that's a lot of millionaires they made, which is cool.
Really pretty cool. Sick for sure.
But anyways, we can talk about this stuff all day and all night, and I know the listeners love it, but you guys want to hear the rumors, the little bit of what the industry is leaking. What are they saying?
Speculation. What's the theory?
Speculation. Exactly. Facts. I actually want to start off with two stories from last week that I actually forgot about, because sometimes we'll have a doc where it's just like, 50 different headlines and you're just flying through these that you might just forget one. So this one, Ryder doesn't quite believe this one, and I'm personally like really, really, I think it's totally plausible, but Ryan Reynolds is reportedly making $30 million for Deadpool 4. He's making $20 million for Deadpool 3, but $30 million for Deadpool 4 is Robert Downey Jr. levels of money for a superhero movie. So definitely cool, definitely interested. And then I also have the Terminator Anime Series is coming to Netflix. Right. It's official. It's coming. They've already ordered it. It's going to be here, I would say, within the year. But definitely something cool. I think that's probably the best take for a Terminator style show, like making an anime. Like that's so cool.
Yeah, we've been saying it for weeks now. If you're looking for animes, definitely check out Netflix and look what they got, because they've just been adding more to their collection of animes. Original franchise and stuff. It's crazy. They just keep making
animated they came out like 3 or 4 years ago saying like they want to become the powerhouse for anime and sci-fi. Netflix said they want to move away from like crime and dramas and more work on sci-fi and anime. Like so they're literally doing it right there.
Nice. Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
That's awesome. Yeah. Pretty cool.
It's pretty exciting.
All right. Well, for me, I don't know about I showed you this. This is pretty crazy. I think you saw it if you've seen it on social media, Space Jam. We've been hyping it up a little bit. We saw we saw a first little look, a little teaser of it when they did a HBO teaser reel a couple of weeks ago, and now we finally got our first official look from Entertainment Magazine. They released some photos. We have some look at Bugs Bunny and the little Tweety Bird.
Daffy Duck. We got the Coyote.
Yeah. We got some looks of kind of the style of the movie's gonna look like. We have the cover of LeBron with the Looney Tunes. We have some info here. The director says LeBron James. I mean, of course, this is the director of his movie, so of course he's gonna hype it up. He says that this movie with LeBron is better than Michael Jordan's original Space Jam, and he really hypes up LeBron. He says, "Hey, he got that going for him," and I'm like, "Okay." I mean,
okay.
The original's a classic, but I mean, I'm sure that this one's gonna be cooler because of the CGI and stuff. And then a little like story stuff. The rival team will be called Goon Squad instead of the Monstars. Sorry, the Monstars.
Right.
So that's kind of cool.
Squad?
Yeah, the Goon Squad. But it's gonna be pretty fun. Oh, and also I should mention too that they're also saying that since it is Warner Brothers film, they're going to be going through kind of a little bit of story plot stuff. Is going to be they're going through Warner Brothers properties like Mad Max, Wonder Woman, The Matrix, Casablanca, and a lot more characters are going to appear. So I think it's
I remember when this movie was first teased and talked about, when they were like, oh, LeBron might do it, like way before they, I think they wrote anything. Warner Brothers was saying they wanted to include a bunch of their like property in the movie.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I was like, I totally had forgotten about that until I saw what you wrote. And I was like, holy crap, dude, that movie's going to be so epic.
Yeah.
And I totally forgotten about that detail. But then now when I saw it, I remembered. I was like, well, they did say they wanted to do that all those years ago.
Oh, yeah.
It's just cool how these companies are just like, it was years ago that these ideas are planted, and now you're seeing like, hey, here's a still from the finished product. And I think that's so exciting.
Absolutely.
Space Jam 2, I don't know if it's going to be better than the first one. Yeah. We watched Coming to America, the second one, Coming to America yesterday, and it was all right. It wasn't as strong as the first one, which the first one is just very much like you nailed it for the time, like you just nailed the vibe of America. But like this one is like they don't even spend that much time in America. They go back to Zimbabwe. Zamunda, sorry, Zimbabwe. Zamunda. And it's literally like it was a good story. It was interesting, but it wasn't like, you can tell that it was trying to be more relevantly woke as a movie. Like they were trying to have too many like real moments where it was like you were trying to talk at me instead of have me watch a movie. You know? And it was like trying to teach you something, you know. And I was just like, it felt too like okay, I get that you're trying to do that, but like, is there more to this movie, or is there like these characters like this character arc at a moment was like two characters showed up and it was literally like, oh, I have a conflict, you have a conflict, we have a conflict with each other, okay, now we're fighting. And it was like, you know, it was very plain, it was kind of bland, and I was really surprised by that. I was very surprised, but it's, you know, it's cool to see those movies come back. I don't I bring this up because I'm just saying I hope that doesn't happen with Space Jam where they try to make it too much like the first one and then you just lose it, because the benefit of having LeBron James is that it's a completely different person, so you can kind of just create the same story and just do it all over again, but with advanced, you know, graphics and animation, which is going to be really exciting in my opinion. Because I'm 100 levels of hype for Space Jam 2.
Oh, absolutely. I'm ready to see
a review.
I'm ready to see Bugs do a big dunk, you know, or a LeBron dunk, just like in the first
movie. Yeah.
They had Michael Jordan in his arm,
stretch his arm.
Yeah.
Oh
man, it's great.
So next up here, I have Spike Lee is going to be making a documentary about 9/11. It's going to be the 20th anniversary documentary, and it's going to be at HBO. And it was funny because I actually posted on Reddit. I had just said, I hope that this movie is about the firemen and the firemen that have survived, and telling the story of the firemen who have passed. Because of all the different toxins that were in the air, you know, the dust, and a lot of them died of cancer. And I was just like, it'd be cool if most of it was just about them. And this guy sends me a message on Reddit, and he's like, Spike is gonna make it about whatever the fuck he wants. And I was like, God. Dude, that is not what, like, I was not even,
it's like, okay,
like, where is your head at? You know, like, all I was saying was, I just hope it focuses on the firefighters.
Yeah, a nice comment. Hey, that'd be cool if it's about this. No, Spike Lee does what he wants. Like,
exactly.
Bro,
it was such cancer. Like, I was like, dude, like, why are you just being toxic for no reason? Man. It was like, either way, so odd. It was so odd. I was
Spike Lee. when it comes to 9/11, I mean, there's a lot of films out there about 9/11, of course, and so far the ones that I've seen have all been tasteful, I'd say, and I haven't yet to seen one that's like, oh, too soon, or one that's like, oh, you did the story like.
I don't think there's such a thing. There isn't, because it's all historical.
Yeah,
you know, when you're
absolutely.
covering history, I don't think anybody ever is like, oh, nowadays we're kind of the problem is like Gen Z is trying to cancel everything. Like even this week they were trying to cancel Eminem, and then like the millennials were like, you guys are not gonna try to cancel Eminem. Like, and it's just funny how like groups of people just band together and are like, oh, we hate this all of a sudden.
Mob mentality.
This doesn't please me. You know, this doesn't please me and my standards for living. So it doesn't, fit the narrative that I want in this world. So it has to disappear. That's unrealistic, and that's honestly very ignorant. Like, don't go through life thinking that you're just gonna, oh, I don't like this, so it's gonna that's not life. Yeah. Like, I'm sorry, that's just not realistic. So. But it's just interesting that guy sends me that message like that. Like, it's just people are just toxic these days for no reason. Like,
I've definitely I've felt that more on in the internet for sure. Especially probably COVID atmosphere, getting all angry in your box, and so you just want to take it out. You're angry.
Take it out on a stranger.
Yeah. But I mean, Spike Lee always has a great story to tell that I feel like nobody thinks to think of. It's always like, wow, like, man, you're right. I didn't think to think of that, but thank you, Spike. Right. So I'm sure something great will come of this. That
would be an interesting documentary next year to see that. So that'd be interesting. Sure. Also, I wanted to just talk about this. This is a little bit more of an insider with Jared Leto. He says that Brad Pitt is to blame for his look in Fight Club, which is interesting. And he says there was just this is his quote from the interview, and he says, "I remember bleaching my hair and my eyebrows white. We did one pass, and I think it was Brad Pitt. He said something about Billy Idol. He was like, blonder. So we went even wider with it. I liked being on that set because I got to watch Brad. This is really cool. He says, he's incredibly loose, naturalistic, always does something very different, take to take. And that was interesting to see. Everyone on it just kind of felt like we were just getting into trouble and doing something that was potentially special, but on the darker side of the universe. That's kind of cool. Kind of interesting of a take. It's funny because that he says that about Brad Pitt, because I feel like Brad Pitt is definitely that type of actor who's just like, I'm going to make a decision, and then the next, and action, it's going to be completely different the second time, third time. And he probably doesn't even have to do it that many times, because he already knows the stuff. But this was the interesting thing for me out of this whole interview, because I had this is the last line of this second part. It says, the uncompromising takedown of capitalism and masculinity still boasts a huge following over 20 years on. They're talking about Fight Club. Something it didn't manage to capture at the time, right? Because at the beginning it was kind of like a flop. Brad Pitt has even admitted that the first public screening tanked horribly, but he didn't mind because he'd gotten high with Edward Norton right before it.
Oh my God! Wow.
I was like, I didn't even know Brad was a smoker. That's crazy. But but that was just a little interesting movie insider that I found this week that I was like, that's kind of fun. No, it's absolutely a fun movie. So I was interested to bring that. But
that's interesting to hear too, especially a movie like that. I think it's such a cult phenomenon or a fan favorite.
Now, right?
Now it's kind of huge.
We watched that in college. Like, that was one of the movies my dorm hall was like, hey guys, let's watch Fight Club.
Oh, nice.
And like, oh, okay. I'm down. Cool. Like, that was fun.
That's sick.
Right. What else you got? What you got next?
Well, I'm going to say this. I'm going to skip to this one right here because I know this one's kind of huge. So Superman and Lois just premiered recently, and people were hyping it up because of how great they did. And I saw some footage of the pilot, and I think it's looking good so far. But unfortunate news, Superman and Lois is going on sorry, I'm stuttering here. It's going on a hiatus, and it's returning May 18th. Yeah, no, I couldn't believe it. And Supergirl season 6 swoops in to get on a March 30th release.
Wait. So they premiered what? 2 episodes?
Yeah,
1 episode.
I think it's 1 episode now. 1 episode.
They premiered 1 episode and then they went on hiatus.
Yeah, now it's hiatus and it's returning May 18th. But it says the good news is, though, for those of you that are liking the show so far, it's already been renewed for season 2 at the CW. Oh. But I
maybe
think
that's why.
Scheduling.
Maybe it was because of the fact that it's
I believe
they had built up the character a certain way, and then they were like, maybe episode 2. The writing needed to be changed or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they were saying it was a scheduling conflict with what's going on with the, I think, Supergirl. I think they wanted to get that in there. Or there was a writing conflict or something. So they were like, we need to pause, take a break on this, and come back because we're not even. I don't know. I didn't see the exact problem or complication. There wasn't that much information on it, but kind of weird during the season.
Supergirl's ending, so it's like,
oh yeah,
You know, so they're probably just trying to finish. Yeah, they're like, let's just finish that season.
We know, and then Superman's great.
right. Yeah, exactly. We already tested the waters. We know he's good. People are gonna love it. Let's do it in May. You know, all right. You know, that's funny.
Yeah, that's about it for that one.
If we're still talking about DC, I'm into talking about DC for a minute because I got a couple things here that I want to speculate with you. But Justice League Snyder Cut is apparently going to end in a cliffhanger.
I heard about this.
Is what they're saying. And it's very interesting because people are saying that there might not be a sequel. But here's the interesting thing about what's going on with Warner Brothers and HBO Max, because their parent company is AT&T, right? The only reason the Snyder Cut even came back is because AT&T was launching HBO Max, and they were like, this is going to help us get more people to, you know, jump on our streaming platform. It's always about money. But here's the thing. Apparently, Warner Brothers didn't like the Snyder Cut, right? Because they legitimately are like, you know what? We didn't want to make this movie. You know, we were good with just leaving it with the original and then just moving on to something different. So they kind of, you know, AT&T kind of overpassed Warner Brothers because it's AT&T's company. So they were like, you're going to do whatever we say. Yeah. So the people at Warner Brothers were like, well, we didn't necessarily want that. And so the executives leaked the J.J. Abrams Black Superman story to take away from the hype of Snyder Cut. Isn't that interesting?
Whoa.
Isn't that interesting? They like self-sabotaged, but it was like not necessarily self-sabotage, but in a way it kind of is because they don't want people to watch Snyder Cut because if it's a big success, they might sequel it. And then it's like Warner Brothers is stuck doing, you know, Zack Snyder's, you know, Justice League for who knows how long. And I don't think Warner Brothers necessarily wants to go and like work with, I don't know if they want to work with Zack Snyder or they just don't want to rehash all these plots that they already had.
It's just like spending the 20-30 million. Probably Zack was like, hey, it's gonna take a lot of money to do this, and they're like, really, like
70 million for the Snyder Cut reshoots. That's a lot of money.
A lot more than I remembered.
Is a lot of money.
So
you know,
it's like fine, Zack. You know, I understand. Right. And listen, as far-fetched as that sound, we've seen many companies do this before. I think even Deadpool, didn't Ryan Reynolds say that like one of the writers leaked that scene many years back just to kind of hype it up and get the writers to kind of like fund it or something like that? So it's been done before.
I think the Deadpool writers had shot like the first opening scene, like a spec, and then they were like, they basically had a hold on it because they had said, okay, well, this is in development, so nobody can see this, but it stayed in development, development hell, that's what they call it, when it doesn't move. And then basically they leaked it, and it got so much traction online that people were like, oh, so people actually want to see this. Yeah. You know, it wasn't just like no, people want to see this, but there's no numbers to back it. This was now like, oh. But what was interesting about this is that Warner Brothers is actually, there was another article that came out this week that said the Warner Brothers executives are actually like, the one thing they did like about this, you know, whole Snyder experience was that Jared Leto actually had a very good arc as the Joker in this movie. Oh, nice. And I think that's interesting because it might open doors for his Joker to stick around, or maybe go see Robert Pattinson's Joker, Batman. And it is just interesting to me because there's a lot of speculating there. But on top of all this, we have Henry Cavill going to Marvel and seeing if they want to use him as a superhero. So that's the interesting, like out of everything, that's the cherry on top for me, because the Superman reboot isn't going to focus on Clark Kent, or it's not even going to feature him. Yeah. So it's going to be like a completely different story. Yeah. So Henry Cavill's like, I'm out of here. You know, I'm just trying to get hired somewhere else. And if Marvel's freaking cashing out the checks,
that would be like insanity, dude. I would love that. You know, I would love to see him even with a cape. You know, give him something where he's a caped hero. Like, whoa, he's in both. But interesting for sure, man. The whole DC, I think, as jumbled as it is, it's so interesting to hear about their company and what they're doing with all their franchises.
Dude, honestly,
it's crazy, man.
Within the last, like, I would say just from the start of this show, we've already seen so many different things. But I would say DC Fandom in October last year was their real shift. When they did Fandom, I was like, oh, I kind of feel like a different vibe from this company. Like, you guys are trying to do something different. And I'm glad they're leaning into their, like, you know,
wackiness of multiverse and multiple.
I was sort of. I was gonna say, like, they're leaning heavy into the more like the character building of these like superheroes, but then also branching out these like unknown stories. Yeah, you know, like a Black Superman is great. You know, like I think that's the like if you're gonna reboot Superman, freaking make him black. Like if you're gonna go reboot Green Lantern, make him Latino. Like I don't care. You know, at the end of the day, it's not even about the race representation. It's just about bringing in new characters, giving us good storylines, and just making like a good movie or show that like I can walk away from and go, you know what, this was worth my time. This was actually good.
I'm rooting for
I think they're getting there. I think they're Wonder Woman. I feel like backstepped a bit, but you know they need to. Yeah, you know, it's like they do that a lot, dude. They go back and forth while Marvel is just like consistent, you know. Yeah, and that's why a lot of people like Marvel because it's very consistent with their content. Like you're pretty much guaranteed,
but it works,
you know. Yeah, like you might not like all their movies. Like you might not like Captain Marvel, or you might have not liked Ant-Man, or you know, there's just certain movies that you didn't like. But it's like overall,
you have a
like,
good taste in your mouth.
Good franchise, like it's just good. Like you have a good taste in your mouth. WandaVision. If we want to jump into that, just to spoilers, spoilers. Finale of WandaVision left the best taste in my mouth. Like I didn't feel like I needed more in the sense of Wanda's story being complete. I was wanting more as a Marvel fan. You know what I mean?
got you.
Like,
like
absolutely. I was thirsting for more like the Marvel multiverse and explosion of just like content, you know, almost like lines of stories, you know, like exactly, like boom, here are the gates, and now we got all these different Arrow stories going everywhere. But instead, we got a very concise. You said it the best. You said we thought it was going to be a big universe, and instead we got this really small, intimate story. And I think that's the best. Like the fact that Marvel was even able to do that, this huge company that is usually known for putting out these big, massive things, was able to intimately tell you this small story of Wanda,
a nice
vision
character
and her grief
piece,
and her pain.
Really good character.
Yeah. Very great character pieces. So I'm excited for DC to start doing that more because I feel like Joker was just the start for them. The success of Joker with Joaquin was what really was like, oh, damn, and Nolan was already kind of doing that stuff with them. So I don't understand. Sure. I don't understand why they weren't like
tap into that more, you know, because Zach is more like adventure comic book, like Scorsese said, theme park films. But I think DC had it going for them. While Marvel, they're great at that, and they'll give me my popcorn, what do they call them, popcorn eaters, whatever. Yeah. But DC with Christian Bale and Nolan, amazing. Joker and Joaquin, character pieces, give me more of that. You know what I mean? The very gritty, serious stuff. You know, like you're talking about. I think
I'd love to see Christian Bale and Joaquin.
Oh, that'd be a crazy matchup. I don't know. It'd be weird to see him though with somebody else besides Keith, but Ledger, it would be a weird.
But if they were to do it, I'd want him to do it with Joaquin.
Oh yeah, for sure. See, up next, I have right here. Oh, sorry. I have right here Steven Spielberg film. Sorry. We have Steven Spielberg and the Duffer Brothers. This is a switch up because I haven't really had that much DC news on my side of things, but we have switch up Steven Spielberg and the Duffer Bros, which they did Stranger Things, creators and writers of that. They're teaming up and they're turning one of Stephen King's The Talisman into a Netflix series. So this is basically a story about a 12-year-old boy. He embarks on a road trip quest for a powerful relic that could save his dying mother and save the world. So this screams Spielberg and adventure and a quest and, you know, that self-discovery and, you know, looking for something. Bro, I mean, it's perfect.
These days, I'm just thinking everybody should write a book about some super simple quest and some very basic storyline with some very basic, maybe make it a children's book. Yeah. And then literally like 10 years from now, try to sell it to somebody to make it into a film. Because it seems like everything's just getting tapped into.
There's a lot of book adaptations. A lot of them.
And book adaptations have been around. Like I've learned being a screenwriter that book adaptations are going to make you like the best type of chance. They're going to give you the best type of chance to actually having your movie being made. Because when you go into a meeting and you say, hey, this is based on this book, it gives them a whole big ass textbook that is like, hey, exactly. You can study it, you can look through it, you can make a script that is okay. This feels like genuinely like this book, or like we got a good story adaptation from this book. Yeah. But creating something out of thin air is a little bit more impressive in a sense. That's why they have two categories in the Oscars, you know, original and adapted screenplay. Yeah. You know?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But anyways, guys, you still got more from that Talisman?
No, that was it. I think it's gonna be cool. Matchup, Netflix, you know. I mean, Spielberg, come on, I'm in. That's all.
Spielberg, I'm in. I do want to backtrack here just for a quick second. I had it, and then I was going to talk about it at the beginning, but I'll talk about it
yeah,
now.
what you got?
Paramount Plus is out.
Yes.
Paramount Plus has officially launched.
Are you buying it?
It was funny because we talked about it last week, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we were like, oh, it's 2 weeks away. And then as soon as I finished the episode, I was like, wait, February's shorter. So it was like way closer.
Yeah,
and then I was like, this is actually in like 6 days.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, oh. So today, I actually just grabbed it because they're giving you a free month. And I wanted to just say, sorry, there was like a little.
No, it's good.
Personally, looking at their interface, like the way they kind of have it set up is very clean, like a super clean. Like their promos for each of their shows has a nice, clean shot of each of them. So it's very intriguing. The colors pop a lot. The one thing that I feel like is lacking is just like at the beginning they made me do, like they said, choose 3 things out of all these different things to like kind of match you up with stuff you might like.
What?
And there was not really stuff on there that I knew.
That's
like
strange.
I don't watch a lot of these shows.
Yeah.
And it was more of just like I had to like tap into stuff that I had watched as a kid, and I was like, okay, I guess I'll like that stuff.
I like SpongeBob, sure. No, I'm just kidding. You're like,
yeah, I was like, I guess I'll
stuff.
click on Fairly Odd Parents, but I was like, that wasn't what I was coming to this service for. Like, I don't think I'm gonna watch that show on here. But once you actually get into it, it's actually very like there's a lot of stuff you can watch. Like I was going through their movie list and I was scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. And they have a similar HBO Max setup where it's like you have the tabs, or like Disney Plus even, where you have the tabs for like BET, MTV, Nickelodeon, Comedy Central, CBS. So it's like you can go to the brands. They have a thing up at the top that says brands, live TV. Personally, if I didn't have a lot of streaming services, like I put this on PayPal, so I'm just like chilling on the PayPal credit. Yeah. So it's fine, But like, if I didn't have any other streaming service, I could see myself buying this as one of the first. You know what I mean? Like instead of getting Netflix or Hulu or HBO Max, entry level for sure to the streaming. But now that I have HBO, Hulu, Amazon, Netflix, Disney Plus, it's like adding Paramount Plus is kind of like a burdenous thing because and it was just $10, but like as I was doing it, I was like, dude, that's gonna be $10. It's like another $10. I was like, okay, well, fuck it, I'll do it. But like at the same time, I'm like really thinking about it, and I'm just like, nah. So it's
it's like, ooh.
If you want content, there's content there, and if you're really searching for it, like you're gonna find stuff that it's basically gonna be like another Netflix where you're just gonna be scrolling and scrolling till you find something that you might want to watch. But I would definitely say the service is good based on just tapping in just now.
Yeah, it's so interesting that each platform really has its own purpose, I'd say, because like for me, Disney Plus, it's going to be until they start adding more to their roster. Disney Plus, I'm going to hop on once a week. That's me for their Marvel and Star Wars content. It's going to be a once a week type of thing for me. Netflix, I'm like, several times a week. HBO Max, not even once a week, only for their heavy movies that come out. I mean, maybe if I feel like checking out a cartoon like Harley Quinn or, a Batman animated series, maybe, but there's not regular content. I feel like Hulu, I'm just starting to get in because that's more TV shows. So I'm starting to be like, that's more of like a daily thing for me now. So that's where I'm at with some of those.
That you say this, honestly. Yeah. That you say that because
Amazon Prime too is barely.
Amazon Prime for me is never used. Like I used to use it to watch Boston Legal. But now Boston Legal is on a Hulu, and I think it's on HBO Max. So it's like I don't even need to go to Prime for it, And it's like basically I'm going to Prime if I want to watch the originals, but I haven't. Like The Boys season 2. I mentioned this a couple weeks ago, whereas I haven't even watched The Boys season 2, and I feel like I don't know. There's just certain shows that like you want to watch and then you don't, and then you're just kind of like you forget about them, and then. I guess they're not that interesting, or maybe they are, but you just you want to save them. I don't know, but Amazon for sure needs to like, that's why the Lord of the Rings for them is going to be huge. Cause I feel like that's going to be their once a week type thing, right? Where, at least once a week, people are going to be going to Amazon Prime because they don't have that at all right now.
Well, speaking of streaming services, we got another one that I literally just forgot about, Apple TV Plus. Now, even that's
holy shit, dude! Oh
that's
my
another
God.
one, dude.
That's hilarious that you say that because I remember when I was rattling off just a second ago, I wasn't even thinking about Apple TV
I know,
Plus.
I completely forgot about it too, and I saw it. I'm like, there's another one, dude, with a whole roster of original content that I know is probably good. That's probably like 12, and then you forget Showtime as well. That's an actual, but I mean, I don't know.
There's at least 10. There's at least 10.
Yeah, but
that's
anyways,
crazy.
So we have Apple TV Plus is debuting a mysterious trailer for Calls, a show told entirely through phone calls. Yeah, and get this, it stars Pedro
like
Pascal.
Quibi?
Yeah. Yeah. They're being exotic. They're trying something new. It's starring Pedro Pascal, Rosario Dawson.
What isn't
Aaron
starring
Taylor
Pedro
Johnson.
Pascal and Rosario Dawson? Come on.
I know, right? We have Lily Collins, Karen Gillan, and lots more. I saw like a little teaser for it. It's just like a phone, like a sound bite, and it's like, hello, you there? And it's like interesting phone calls. So it's like, okay, it's just like the YouTube, like deep web analytical videos on YouTube. You know what I mean? That she listens to. But I was like, whatever.
I guess.
But yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, that's kind of interesting. And then we also have some news for Star Trek. I always think of that. I associate Star Trek now with streaming services because I think of Star Trek Discovery. So the writer from Star Trek Discovery, Kalinda Vasquez, is teaming up with J.J. Abrams for a new Star Trek movie, apparently. Now, this is coming.
Oh,
so,
nice.
They're just going to continue that on. I'm sure J.J. Abrams was very locked in with Star Trek, and it's his franchise, really, now at this point. So
That's facts. Right here, I have Spider-Man is rumored. We talked about this a little bit ago. Rumored to be getting a new best friend. So
Whoa?
I think that what's his name? Norm? What's his name? Norm?
Norm?
The best friend.
Ned? Oh, Ned.
Ned.
I was like, Norm from
remember
WandaVision?
remember when we were speculating Ned was going to become Hobgoblin?
Yeah.
So I think he's going to become Hobgoblin. And then I think, I don't know, but I think Harry Osborn is finally going to be introduced.
Hey, I'd be down for that. I'd be so down. People were saying, hey, watch Timothy Chalamet. I'm like, ooh. Timothy Chalamet, Harry. And then get this, Matthew McConaughey, Norman. Oh, that'd be sick, dude. What? Matthew McConaughey as Norman Osborn.
That's pretty convincing casting.
Chalamet, I'd be like, let's go.
Dude, Timothy Chalamet, I'd be with. Like, I'd be like, okay. I could totally see him being Harry Osborn.
He's pretty fantastic.
That's pretty good casting. Next up I have here, the runtime for Godzilla vs. Kong is going to be 1 hour and 53 minutes. Now, do you think that's enough time to set up a battle between the two biggest monsters and the mechanical Godzilla?
Look,
I think it's going to be a lot of story and like 25 minutes of fights.
I know. I feel like it's going to be rushed because with Warner Brothers films, big ones like this, Kong Skull Island and Godzilla King of Monsters, I thought those were big, huge epics. And, and then this was going to be like a Snyder cut. Give me a 3-hour-long ultimate finale. But when they were like under 2 hours, I'm like,
under 2 hours,
it's going to be so rushed. And I thought Mecha Godzilla's going to be it. So they're just going to be like, hey, the human people, we don't care about them anymore. It's literally just Kong and a lizard fighting. That's the movie. That's it. Like no story with people. But yeah,
dude,
I think that's so sad.
The best type of way to start a movie like this, that is literally anything versus anything, is the first shot of the movie is them already fighting.
Yeah.
Then I'm already like, oh, this is what I'm here for. And then you can give me like 5 minutes of it and then take me to another place where it's like, how did they get there? And then don't spend so much time telling me how they got there, but make it like 5 more minutes of, oh my gosh, Kong was at this facility and suddenly he was freed. Oh my gosh, we were working on Mecha Godzilla because of the original Godzilla. Yeah. So he got loose. Oh my gosh, where's regular Godzilla? Nobody knows. And then it's like Kong versus Mecha, and then regular Godzilla comes. I'm already hooked. But you know what this movie's probably going to be? What? Millie Bobby Brown holding some journal and just like, tell me more. And then she touches hands with Kong. Like, no. That first version sounded way more exciting.
She's going to be like, but he's my friend. All right, we know each other. Like some stupid.
We're friends from work.
I know. Yeah. Oh, that's lame. Anyways.
Speaking of Thor, though, we got a couple of really big leaks this week. Melissa McCarthy. Let's
talk about this.
She was casted as a fake Hela, which is really cool for Thor: Love and Thunder. But we also got a clip. Someone had some drone footage this week, which was really cool. This is a big, heavy spoiler for that movie. But they're recreating.
Spoilers, ladies and gentlemen.
You better be ready for this. We saw like the whole set. Like they had the whole fake.
Yeah.
Throne set up. It was sick.
We saw some stuff.
It looks awesome. Honestly, it just got me more hyped. Like I was just like, this is the coolest thing ever. And it's a huge crew, bro. That they took up like a whole section of that little
like massive.
Right by the ocean too. I was like, why does it need to be right by the ocean? But okay.
Yeah, lately there's been a lot because they're shooting out in that area right now. I think they're shooting a lot of scenes there, or at least not a lot of scenes, but probably one giant scene, of the movie. And so there's going to be a lot of footage coming out. So definitely be prepared, ladies and gentlemen, on the internet. But yeah, more photos even came out today as well. Another spoiler, just skip ahead probably like a minute if you don't want to hear this, but they showed Natalie Portman. She was there showing like flying kind of and doing some stuff. She was in like human clothes. She looks ripped though. Like they showed some photos of her and she got jacked for this movie. Like she's looking built.
Swole.
She's looking a little swole, yeah. And so, I'm looking forward to seeing what they got. But yeah, there's a lot of funny stuff. You've seen Taika. A lot of leaks coming out for that one. So kind of unfortunate, but
absolutely.
I always
think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a really fun movie. I think that one's gonna be super fun.
I feel like leaks add to the hype, but that's just me. I know people would disagree.
I have a couple more stories here, but I want us to speed through them. So I'm just gonna talk fast, people. The Walking Dead returned. Apparently, they gave 6 bonus episodes to season 10. Nobody asked for them. Nobody wanted them, and apparently they were poorly received, which is really sad. Because the whole show's kind of being shot really differently because of COVID, and so I guess they weren't capturing the same essence. I mean, the essence of the show has been lost years ago. But I just wanted to say that. This one is also very interesting. Chris Cuomo's brother. I'm mentioning them. They're not necessarily movie or TV. The governor, though, got an Emmy, so that technically qualifies here. The reason I'm bringing him up is because of the fact that he's had a lot of sexual harassment allegations thrown at him. And apparently he even tried to force somebody to kiss him and said some crazy stuff to some women. And personally, I just wanted to throw out there that he should step down. He came out today and apologized and was like, I'm not going to step down, though. And I was like, I don't really think it's your say, buddy. I don't think it's your say because I think New York wants you gone. And I'm not a New Yorker, but if I was, I definitely want you gone. Wow. So, yeah, 3 women have come out and said that he did things that they didn't want. So it's like, that's already too much. Yeah. Next up, I got Hugh Grant has been cast as the villain for the Dungeons and Dragon movie. I think this is very exciting. Sophia Lillis, who is the young Amy Adams on the movie It, if you saw that, is going to be in that as well. But I think Hugh Grant is a great villain casting. Like I don't know what that Dungeons and Dragons movie is going to be like, but I'm excited to just see it come together. I think
we met Jessica Chastain. I don't think Amy Adams was in that.
That was Jessica Chastain.
It's okay.
She kind of looks more like a young Amy Adams, though, right?
Yeah, no, I get you. Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, she does look a lot like. I mean, really, any red-haired actress in Hollywood.
Right.
But no, yeah, I heard about this, and I mean that cast is already looking stacked because I know Chris Pine is like also the lead. And then we also said that the guy from Bridgerton, he just got casted. He just got casted in this, and then he got cast in something else. I have it on here. I have to find it here, but
Right.
Yeah, that guy's getting cast in a lot of stuff. Like I think that all the hype of Bridgerton was like, put him in everything now.
I hear you.
I might not put it on here, but yeah, but I mean, speaking of casting news,
what?
I mean, you want to move on? What do you have? Well, this is pretty interesting. We got Joseph Gordon-Levitt this is like Disney stuff. We're getting into Disney lore right now.
Okay.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt will be the voice of Jiminy Cricket in Disney's live-action Pinocchio. So I mean, Disney. They're always doing live action. We know that there's a Little Mermaid coming, and I got some news on that. But yeah, we got Keegan-Michael Key is going to be voicing Honest John, and Pinocchio himself will be voiced by Benjamin Evan Ainsworth. So I'm sure I don't know this name of the actor, but I'm sure if I looked him up, I'd recognize him. And then of course a huge actress, Cynthia Erivo, gets her wings. She's going to be the Blue Fairy, and so I think that's a great casting because I think she has the calmness and kindness of the blue.
I just want the Disney live action movies to not suck. Okay, that's all I want.
Yeah,
I just don't want them to suck.
I thought you were gonna say I want them to stop. I was like, whoa.
I don't care if they make them. I just don't want them to suck. Like Mulan.
Excuse me. Yeah,
Mulan was very much an underwhelmed movie.
Oh yeah, that one was a flop. I heard. Yeah, that one.
Yeah. So
and then we have Little Mermaid as well. They're saying that what's her name? Matilda? Not Matilda. The octopus. What's her name? Have you seen Little Mermaid? Do you know about the names?
Yeah, you're talking about
casting of what's her name?
Yeah, you're talking about the sea witch.
I should have written this down.
Ursula.
Yeah, Ursula. It said Ursula is gonna be her aunt in this one. That from the original script writing, back from the original, they planned for her to be the aunt and have a family connection, but they just changed that. But for this live action film, they're gonna have an aunt connection. So
okay.
That's just a little.
We'll see how that works. Yeah. We'll see how that works.
Yeah.
I have some pretty major news here.
Oh,
are you ready? This is probably like the biggest news because it's gonna tap into 2 movies that are coming up, and I really want to talk about a certain actor who we all know and love, by the name of Tom Holland.
Oh,
now, Tom
okay.
Holland has come out and said that he's worried about his Uncharted performance. Now, this is very interesting to me because he was hyping this shit up just a couple months ago, saying this is the biggest movie he's ever worked on as far as action, and he loves the script. But now and I want to read this from his words. This is his words, right? In a frank interview, Holland acknowledged that there are elements of my performance in Uncharted where I kind of fell under that spell of being, I want to look good now rather than playing a character. And that to me is a huge red flag. Like, bro, bro, you're an actor, you know? And then he says
how it could come off.
Bro, he says, as soon as you start worrying about, do I look good in this shot? Acting becomes something other than playing a character. Holland told GQ, I think there are elements of my performance in Uncharted where I kind of fell under the spell of being the I want to look good right now actor, and I want this to be my cool moment instead of focusing so much on the story.
I mean, I feel that. I would agree. Like, I mean, it's kind of like, you know, where you're posed and you're thinking about, okay, am I like flexing, or probably am I looking cool holding a gun, and you're not even thinking about how you deliver that line, and then they're saying cut and they're moving on, and you're like, shit, I didn't.
Like maybe you didn't give everything you had.
But they're like, no, that was great, Tom. You look cool. And he's like, oh no, like I'm probably like acting cringy. I haven't even thought about it. Like, who knows? Right. That could be funny, man. Personally,
I don't know. Like I think the trailer's really gonna be our decider factor.
Yep,
you know,
because
did Cherry come out? Cherry came out, right?
Cherry's out now. I think.
Did anybody talk about Cherry?
I mean,
have you heard anybody talk about Cherry?
I haven't heard anything about that.
Exactly. I up until now, the only reason I'm mentioning it is because it's a Tom Holland related movie, but I haven't heard crap about it. And here's the reason I'm bringing him up is because he might be having some misses here, right? Chaos Walking. Walking.
But
that movie is going to be ass fire.
No, yeah, I've seen it,
and I've watched trailers of Daisy Ridley in this movie, and I just keep going, why is the cringe so heavy? Why is it just like, you can read my thoughts. I hope she doesn't like read my thoughts. I read your thoughts.
Yeah, it's awful.
Like, it's just gross. Like, I just don't like it, you know? It's just not good, you know? I don't know why he signed on to that project. I don't know. Chaos Walking,
it might have been the Daisy
is literally
Ridley.
Like hilarious to me as a title, because that's literally what's like, it's gonna arrive and it's just gonna be chaos. Nobody's gonna like the movie.
Wow, that was
that's just my opinion, though. Once again, guys, this movie could be blowing you away when it comes out, but right now, based on what I've seen, it looks like hot.
Plus, we haven't even seen it too, but already initial impressions are not good. Plus, there's been a lot of stuff about it. It's like it's been in production hell, or like it's like flopping already, like changing directors, changing script writings. Like, whoa, man, not looking good.
It doesn't look good. Anyways. It just doesn't look good. But yeah, dude, Tom Holland's not having a good year. I mean, he is, but he's not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I guess when you're the biggest Spider-Man to date, you have the liberty to do a couple of bad movies, and that's the lesson here.
Because no matter what, we're gonna be impressed by those Spider-Man films.
Because every single time we're going $1 billion plus on the box office, if not more, international. So,
well, speaking of a character who's being successful, let's talk about SpongeBob SquarePants. No, I'm sorry, I had to tell you, but here we go. This is a little bit. I think it's always funny how much SpongeBob is in the news lately. And we have Nickelodeon officially greenlights a SpongeBob spinoff called The Patrick Star Show. Now it's going to be following Patrick, a younger version of himself, living with his family, where he hosts his own show for the neighborhood. So I think this is going to be on Paramount Plus as well in the future, of course. But like, come on, they keep pumping them out, man. This is it's pretty hilarious. Camp Coral's already out now. I've been hearing some good stuff about that, but that's all I have for Nickelodeon. SpongeBob. Okay, so I have just a couple stories here left. Let's go ahead and pump on through them. I'm going to get through them and read them off here. We have Euphoria's Stormy Reed. She was also in Invisible Man. Is in talks to star in Searching 2. So I don't know if you know, that movie was kind of like on the computer screen about a dad trying to look for his daughter through the computer screen, you know, like through Facebook and through the webcam. That's how the movie was conveyed. So they're making a sequel.
Is that the guy from Harold and
Kumar? Yeah.
Okay, I know what you're talking about.
So spring production's going to start. Stormy Weed is going to be in it. I think it's a completely different story, but at least there's a sequel to that.
It's just a continuation of the same stuff. Gotcha.
Yeah, and then also some Marvel news for those of you that can't get enough of your Marvel fix. This next week coming up on March 12th, Assembled is coming out. So that's going to be a show BTS kind of showing the making of WandaVision. So if you want to check that out, that's coming out March 12th. And then we also have here Bill Nye is coming back with a new science series. The End is Nigh. And that's coming from Peacock, which, dude, that's another streaming service, Peacock, that we forgot about. That's 11. If that's 10, make it 11.
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
dude, these are Apple TV Plus and Peacock, just two forgettable ones.
I know, yeah. Absolutely. Seth MacFarlane's going to be in that. Seth MacFarlane and Brennan Braga are producing it. So it's going to be focusing on threats to life on Earth and how to survive them. So Bill Nye's coming back for all you guys that loved him in childhood. And then let's see. Some more quick light news. We have John Wick franchise writer Derek Kolstad teams up with Amazon for a live-action Hellsing movie. Okay. And I saw the photo of this, and I was thinking of Van Helsing, but it's not Van Helsing. It's like a comic book, I think, Hellsing. Or an anime, I believe. But that's coming, so I'm sure anything...
Is he still hunting vampires? Do you know? No.
I don't think because I don't think it's Van Helsing. I think Helsing is something else, at least based on the photo that they showed. And then anyways, The Simpsons is renewed for season 33 and 34. That was kind of crazy to hear about. I was like, geez, 30
show keeps trucking. They're just going to keep making it. Family Guy, American Dad, Simpsons.
Uh-huh.
And then stopping them.
Unfortunate news, T.I. will not be returning for Ant-Man and the Wasp. That's kind of unfortunate. T.I. was funny. Maybe Michael Pena will come back. Who knows? But we'll definitely let you guys know. Quantumania. Yep. And then Black Adam, starring The Rock, will be officially starting production next month. So hopefully we're getting some teasers, maybe some photos of on set stuff of that. But I think that's it for me. Yeah. Oh, and kind of a huge one as well. I can't just forget about this one. A Quiet Place Part 2 is getting its release date announced by John Krasinski on Twitter. It's coming out Memorial Day weekend.
In theaters?
It's coming. In theaters, apparently.
Then 45 days later, Paramount Plus.
He didn't say on his post. He just said, "Hey, we've been waiting a long time, guys. We're sorry, but it's coming out. We're just pumping it out now." So, that's gonna be exciting. That's kind of like the first big blockbuster in a while that we've gotten. So,
absolutely,
check it out.
Absolutely,
that's it for me.
That's awesome.
I punched through it.
You did pump through it, and so I'm gonna just go through the 5 that I have and just make them quick. So we have The Mutants coming to MCU and theaters near you sometime, maybe in the next 2 years, or maybe next year, or maybe it's already in the works, or maybe it's already finished. I don't know what Kevin Feige has up his sleeves, but I can tell you what it's not: web slingers. That's right. Wow. He's not Spider-Man. Anyways,
that was good, dude.
Right. Move on. Galaxy Quest, a sequel, is apparently, we had talked about it a couple weeks back, but apparently now it's back on track, according to Sigourney Weaver. Sorry. I think if she's saying it's going to happen, it's probably going to happen. She's one of the reasons the first one was made. This next one, Ed O'Neill and Sissy Spacek are going to be the leads in an Amazon sci-fi series called Light Years, which I think is cool. Ed O'Neill was the dad Jay on Modern Family. Claire's dad. I don't know if you remember that, but I'm excited that he's getting another show because he's a great actor, and I'm just happy for that. Cool. Indira Varma has been cast in a secret role in Obi-Wan Kenobi, the Disney Plus series. I am sure you saw this week. Very exciting. Don't know what her role is going to be because obviously it's a secret, but very fun. And then last but not least, I have HBO Max's Made for Love stars a woman with a surveillance chip in her head. Now, I want to just delve a little deeper in this one. Okay. This sounds interesting. It says HBO Max has released a teaser for a series called Made for Love, which might give you a good reason to avoid getting too close to tech billionaires. Christine Miliotto plays Hazel Green, a woman who escapes an oppressive decade-long marriage by fleeing to her hometown in the desert. Only one problem: Hazel's husband has implanted a surveillance chip in her head. Wow. That sounds interesting. That's the kind of stuff that I'm like, ooh, that's different. But is it, once again, predictive programming? Like Musk wants to do Neuralink, and now they're just like, why don't we just put a TV show about it? and see how normal it is to just have a chip in your head.
Mm-hmm.
No, thank
what
you.
people think.
I don't want it. Throw it away. Hot garbage, just like Chaos Walking. Okay, guys, that's it for us as far as the news goes. Now we're going to be getting into our recommendations. I feel bad because if I ever meet Tom Holland, I'm going to have to tell him to his face, like, hey, man, Chaos Walking wasn't the move. Sad. But anyways,
like,
on to our recommendations. Oh my gosh.
Well, why don't you be an actor? Huh?
He's like, I'm a multi-millionaire from Spider-Man. And I'm going to be like,
yeah, that's true.
Tom.
You are the best Spider-Man. That's what I'd say.
I think so too. I think at this point he is. Like, I used to like Tobey Maguire, but I would never rewatch the old Spider-Mans or even the old Andrew Garfield ones. But like, I could totally see myself watching Tom Holland. Mainly because now it's like more a larger picture movie. Yeah. You know, so that's probably why.
He's kind of cheating, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I love Tom Holland. Don't get me wrong. And I'd love a Timothée Chalamet, Harry Osborn casting just to see them on. And then if we see them in Wonka, it would be sick.
Oh, yeah.
One of them, they're fighting it out. That's going to be the performance of a lifetime. Who's going to get it? Who's going to get it?
Oh, my God.
Anyways, let's get to the recommendations so we can wrap up here for the people listening on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and Stitcher and TuneIn, Pocket Cast. You guys listening on your Amazon Echo? I bet you are, because if you are, we want to say thank you. My recommendation for this week is actually Futurama. I actually really got back into Futurama. Like, I wasn't kidding. I started the pilot, I want to say 5-6 months ago, and then I didn't watch any other episode. And then suddenly I was sitting in my Switch. The Switch only has Hulu. Like, they don't have any other app. So I was on my Switch, and I was like, well, let me watch Hulu. And then I was like, well, let me just watch Futurama. And then next thing you know, 8 hours went by and I had gone through a season and a half. And I was just like, I guess I'm in it. So now I'm watching it all over again. So that's going to be fun. What's your recommendation?
Well, I've been watching a lot of film class, I said earlier. So I recommend a movie called What's Cooking. It's it's an old one. It's about a Thanksgiving dinner with 4 different ethnic families. You know, it's Asian, African-American, just like a white American family and Hispanic family. So they're all connected in a cool way, and it's all just a Thanksgiving dinner with all 4 of these big families. And it's a great story. It's really cool. I'm researching on it for class, but definitely recommend checking it out. What's Cooking?
Well, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much for that. I thank you because I haven't even heard of that movie until you mentioned it today. So I'll check it out. As far as we're concerned, though, that's it.
That's it.
We're done. We hope
great
you enjoyed.
Episode as always, though.
Yeah, we hope you enjoyed it. This has been a lot of fun. Thank you so much, Ryder, for being here. Because if I didn't have you, I would have missed out on so many stories. You know, like there's just so many things that you find that I don't even see. So I'm just like, that's so awesome. So you know, you guys love it when we come and bring you the news every week. So we'll be here every time. That's right. Every single week we'll be here talking to you, telling you about the news. So stay tuned because week 9 is just around the corner. 7 days.
Yeah. And also, I want to mention, we also want to hear stories that we probably missed. If you guys have anything, feel free to hop on our Discord.
I love that.
Feel free to hop, if you're watching on YouTube, say something in the comments. Let us know a story you're hearing about. We want to hear it all. Of course, wherever you can find our links, hop on our social media and talk with us. We love having conversations about all this stuff with you guys.
Right. And we're getting the Snyder Cut soon. And I do want to talk about some storyboards were leaked for sequels that Zack Snyder had planned. I haven't analyzed them. They were very long. It was like 13 pictures of storyboards, and I just haven't had time to read them. But I wanted to mention it because I think I'm going to read them and just kind of have a explanation after we watch Zack Snyder, Justice League next week or next week. I don't know.
Yeah, but it's coming soon.
It's coming soon. I what is it? 13 days from now. So yeah. In about 2 weeks, we'll be able to talk about it. But we'll leave you guys now. We've been rambling on for a minute now, and we want to just tell you that we have so much fun doing it. So thank you so much for tuning in, Ryder. Goodbye.
Bye, everybody.